my friend. Welcome to Next Level Women, the podcast for ambitious women who are ready to rise, take consistent action, and reach their next level in business, in life, and in purpose. I am your host, Joy Rowland, your next level mentor, here to help you build confidence, consistency, and courage so you can finally follow through on your dreams. Let's dive in. What if I fail? Sadly, this is the question that holds so many people back from stepping into their next level. That question from the depth of your mind, questioning whether you'll be successful, afraid of failing. And sadly, for so many people, that fear of failure has stopped them from actually taking the first step in the first place. You haven't even allowed yourself to fail. Like you haven't even given yourself the chance to fail because you failed ahead of time. And so, this episode, I want to show you why the fear of failure isn't really real and why it is time to step into your next level. It is time to let go of the fear of failure, of the fear of being judged, of the fear of what other people will think. So, welcome to today's episode. Today's episode, I want to be raw, honest, and real with you because I have seen so many women stop short of entering their next level because of the fear of failure. So I want to ask you this question. Now we are in mid-November. So it's mid-November of 2025. I want you to ask yourself, what were the things you promised yourself you would do in 2025? What goals did you have in 2025? And I want you to evaluate your actions and look at the results you have created for yourself and ask yourself, did I reach my goals? If you didn't reach your goals, I want you to then ask yourself, why didn't I reach my goals? And 80%, at least 80% of the time, it's because we were afraid to take the action that will get us the results. We were afraid to take the step to make ourselves visible to the world. But here's the thing. I have studied so many successful people, and the one thing they have in common was being comfortable failing publicly. Maybe you're afraid what your family members will think. Maybe you've been trying to start a business in your mind and you've been planning and planning and planning, but you never really took the action. I want to challenge you today to say, you need to let go. You need to be comfortable to fail in public because being comfortable failing in public is actually what will get you nearer to the success you want. Now, don't get me wrong, it's going to be tough. It's going to be challenging. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat this in any way, shape, or form. But I'm going to tell you that that fear you feel, sometimes it isn't real. And let me explain. There is this concept that your brain wants you to fail ahead of time so you don't have to face the rejection or the failure in public. So I'm going to explain what I mean. So when we were in the cave as cavemen and women, social acceptance was critical for survival. Being in a tribe of people was almost guaranteed to help you survive as a human being because in a tribe of people you get to share resources, you get to keep each other safe, and you get to thrive as human beings, right? So that was in those days when we lived in the caves. Now we have evolved, but somehow our brains still think that being rejected socially means that there is a threat to our survival. And so this is why your brain gives you all of those thoughts to keep you from taking action in the first place. Because when your mind rejects you, then you do not have to face public rejection. You do not have to face social rejection. So that's your brain's way of keeping you safe. Now, I love to tell my clients that our brains aren't doing this from a malicious point of view, right? So your brain isn't intentionally trying to hurt you or isn't intentionally trying to keep you stuck. Your brain actually thinks it is in your best interest for your survival to stay small. It is in your best interest to be afraid of failing so that you never take the action in the first place. And so I want you to learn how to use your prefrontal cortex. So your prefrontal cortex is the executive part of your brain. It's the part of your brain that sets you apart from other animals in the wild. That's the part of our brain that has evolved. That's the part of our brain that we can use to get to the next level. That's the part of our brain that we can use to make a lot more money, depending on how much you want to make. So you have to learn the skill of using your prefrontal cortex to override your limbic brain. So your limbic brain is that toddler part of your brain. It's at the back of your head. If you're watching on YouTube, I am pointing to the back of my head because that's where the limbic brain is. As women who want to step into our next level, we need to learn the meta skill of using our executive brain to override our limbic brain. And so that means training your mind to see public failure as something that's okay, right? The world isn't going to end if you trip up on your words, or if you make an offer that doesn't sell, or if you reach out to someone on LinkedIn and it doesn't work out, for example, right? So depending on what your mind is offering, the fear your mind is offering, you need to train your mind to see that the rejection isn't going to kill you. And when I think about successful people and the number of rejection they have had to face, like it was only last year that I read about the lady who wrote the Harry Potter series. And when she was writing this, even before she became popular, they found out that, like, she mentioned that she's been in hundreds of places where her work was rejected. So can you imagine that the person who wrote the Harry Potter series was rejected many times when she submitted her work? Like, you wouldn't believe it, right? But she was willing to face all of those rejections in order to create the success she's created for herself today. So I want you to look, any successful person you see, they have had to go through some form of rejection or the other. That is proof that rejection isn't going to kill you. And more often than not, you're not going to be rejected. The world has become so, I want to say, advanced that not many people get rejected these days. People will give you a chance. So if you're planning to, you've been planning to start your own business, you've been planning to launch an offer, but somehow you have been playing small. You have been thinking that you're going to face rejection. I want to challenge you and ask that part of your brain, hang on a minute, what if I succeed? So when your brain asks you those questions, what if you fail? I want you to have a rebuttal and say, hang on, but what if I succeed? Right? Like my coach used to say, give equal airtime to all of these thoughts. So if you're constantly having negative thoughts about your next level, I want you to start practicing giving equal airtime to both the negative thoughts, which is thoughts of failure. Give equal airtime in your mind to thoughts of success. What if you succeed? But that's the part that our brain never goes to, right? Notice how your brain always goes to the worst case scenario. And you know the reason why? The reason why your brain always goes to the worst case scenario is because that's how our brains have evolved. Our brains have evolved to keep us safe. So our brain is constantly scanning our environment to see if there is any threats to our safety. That's how the human brain has evolved. So now That's why the human brain is conditioned to look for threats, to look for negativity, so you can plan a way of escape. But because now we no longer live in the cave, if you live in cities, you're not under threat of wild animals, right? So now I want you to start training your mind to focus on the positivity and focus on the possibility of success, so that when you're constantly thinking of that you're going to fail, I want you to say, hang on, what if I succeed? What then? What if I succeed? So I want you to think about this. What's the one thing, maybe for you is two or three things, that you've been procrastinating on because you're afraid of what other people will think? The past couple of weeks, I've had the opportunity to talk to women from all over the world, and many of them have shared with me things that they have planned to do in 2025, but haven't just done it yet because of some fear. One of them has been planning to launch a podcast. She told me she bought all the equipment, all the studios, like she's created a studio and she bought all the equipment, but up until now she has never recorded one episode. And so I told her and I said, can you see how your brain convinced you that you needed equipment, expensive microphone, expensive camera, all of the stuff? Your brain convinced you. And over the weeks and months, you saved up money, you invested, and you bought all of those things. And it's been exactly 6 months since she invested money into all of these equipment, and she hasn't recorded just one episode. And I told her that, did you know that you could record an episode using your mobile phone, like just your mobile phone? You could just record an episode. You don't need any fancy microphone. In fact, when I started this podcast, I recorded on my mobile, right? So I want you to see ways that your brain has been trying to keep you playing small. Your brain has been stopping you from entering into your next level. And trust me, it's going to be challenging if you are going to do this on your own. I, for one, I have grown professionally and personally because of the groups I have been in, the masterminds I've been in, the rooms I've put myself inside. And so going to your next level, you're going to need support. You're going to need friendships. You're going to need people who believe in you on days when you don't believe in yourself. And that's the power of the next level women membership. I call this the gym for your business. For days you don't feel like working on your business, you get the support, the inspiration, the accountability to show up in a very friendly and supportive environment. And so, if you have been trying to go to your next level by yourself and it hasn't worked, that's a sign you need support. Because in a community of women who have the same goal of going to their next level, you achieve success faster because somebody's success inspires you to put in the work, to take the action, to create the results you want in your business. I personally, there are days where I feel low, like I'm sure all of you think, oh, I'm always hyper every day because I have a successful podcast, I have a successful business. No, there are days where I doubt myself. There are days where I have imposter syndrome. There are days when I'm afraid. But because I am in these groups of women, they support me on days I don't believe in myself. And when they pull me up on those days, I find myself being inspired. I find myself being motivated to keep going and showing up. And so, if you have been playing small, you know you've been playing small. You're not making the amount of money you want to make every month. You don't feel fulfilled in your business or in your career. You know you're right for the next level. Then I invite you to join us inside the Next Level Women membership. It's a month-to-month membership. There is no commitment. You get to cancel anytime. But people who join us stay because of the value they get from the community, the value they get from seeing tangible growth in their businesses. I know that you already know what to do to grow your business. I believe everybody Everybody knows what to do to grow their business, but there's a reason why people aren't doing the thing. There is a reason why your mindset gets you stuck. But when you're in a community of women who support you, when you get the coaching, the accountability, you get to get results faster. And you get to that level, your next level, and then you set another next level for yourself. That's how we grow as human beings. My next level from last year isn't the same next level I'm targeting now. That's how we evolve. Your next level keeps expanding as you expand as a human being. So, welcome to the Next Level Women membership. I am excited to support you with all of the amazing women we have inside of the membership so we can celebrate each other to get to the next level. The link to join is in the show notes. If you're watching on YouTube, just go to the description and check out the amazing things we are doing inside of the membership. I am super excited, and that's what lights me up every day when I see women succeed, when I see women step into their next level. Because joy, fulfillment, success, abundance is your birthright. You deserve success. You deserve to feel fulfilled. You deserve to feel like you are living your best life. And that's what we create inside of the Next Level Women membership. I am so excited to welcome you inside of the membership. And if you've been playing small, this is your sign to step up. The world needs us as women. The world needs you. There is something unique inside of you that only you can bring into the world. Nobody else. When I first started, I used to ask myself, who's going to listen to my podcast when there are podcasts by Tony Robbins, when there are podcasts by Lewis House, when there are podcasts by Brooke Castillo, my own coach? But somehow people listen to this podcast because they are people I am meant to serve. It doesn't matter that there are tons and tons of business coaches or mindset coaches out in the world. I, as a unique human being, Joy Rowland, there are people I am here to serve, and those people listen to my podcast, and those people come work with me. That's the same for you. There are people in this world that only you can serve. And I'm going to keep hammering that into your head until you step up, right? Because I know you deserve success. I know you deserve joy. I know you deserve peace. I know you deserve fulfillment. And that's my mission in this world, to help you see what's possible for you, to help you see what your next level looks like. I am so excited, and as you can tell, I'm very passionate about the work I do, and I look forward to welcoming you and onboarding you inside of the Next Level Women membership. Thank you so much for your time today. I will see you back here on the next episode. Hey, look at that. You made it till the end. If this episode spoke to you in any way, do not just let the inspiration fade away. Turn it into action. Come on, join me inside the Next Level Women membership. There is no contract, it's month to month, and you get to cancel anytime. And many people stay because of the transformation. The Next Level Women membership is where you will get weekly coaching, accountability, and a sisterhood of women who are walking this journey with you. This is where you will stop doing it all alone. You will start rising with support and community. This is where consistency becomes natural, confidence becomes effortless, and your goals finally become your reality. Use the link below to join me now inside the membership and step into a community that will help you reach your next level. And you might find your new best friend in the community. You might find your new client in the community because you get to promote your business. You get to promote the things you're working on. And hey, if today's message has inspired you, please share it with another woman who's ready to rise. And don't forget to leave me a 5-star review, because when you leave us reviews, so many more people find the podcast and more women join this movement. Until next time, remember, you are not behind. You are becoming. Sending you lots of love. I truly mean that. I'll see you next time.